All right, you guys. So yesterday we talked about circumference and we were able to find circumference and we remembered all of these vocab words that we just learned. Okay, so to recap, we got diameter, which is a line that is passing through touches both ends of the circle and goes through the center. And that's pictured over here. Radius, which is half of the diameter, and it reaches to the center. So it would just be this little section or this little section. We learned about pi, which is represented by the number 3.14. And then circumference, which is the distance around a circle. And we used the formulas c equals pi times diameter, or c equals 2 times pi times the radius. All right, so today we are also talking about area. Okay, so you've found area of different shapes before. You found area of rectangles, of squares, of triangles, whatever. Now we're finding the area of a circle. Okay, so just like circumference, we have got a formula. So when we find the area, this is the measure of the space that's inside this circle. So all of this, how much space is this taking up, is what we're finding when we find the area. And to do that, we use the formula area equals pi times radius squared. Okay, so let's break that down. A obviously stands for area. Pi stands for pi, which we know. We fill in the number 3.14 for that. R stands for radius. And then the 2 right here means squared, okay? When you square something, you're multiplying it by itself. So if I had 2 squared, I would do 2 times 2. If I have 4 squared, it would be 4 times 4. If I have 5 squared, 5 times 5. 100 squared, 100 times 100, okay? So itself times itself. Now, just like with circumference, we're filling in the values given to us in the problem and using a variable to represent the unknown. So it's either going to give you area or it's going to give you the radius. Actually, no, I lied on that one. With area, it's only ever going to give you the radius in 7th grade. Okay, so we are only ever solving for area. All right, let's practice. Oh, hang on. Sorry, you guys, I didn't have my whiteboard pulled up. Okay, so here's our problem. Here's our first one. A circle has a radius of 6 centimeters. What is the area of the circle round to the nearest tenth? Okay, so like with circumference, I'm always going to write my formula. Area equals pi times radius squared. That little 2 above means squared. Okay, now I'm filling in what I know. I don't know my area, so I'm going to use A to represent that. 3.14 is what I'm going to use for pi, just like with circumference. That doesn't change either. And it tells me my radius is 6. Now you guys notice we're squaring this radius. I told you guys when you square something, you multiply it times itself. So I'm going to do 6 times 6 here. Okay, so when I go to my calculator, what I'm going to type in is 3.14 times 6 times 6. Okay, and when I do that, I get the number 113.04. So remembering those rounding rules, this 4 is going to tell me to either go up or stay the same, and it is 4 or less, so it tells me to stay the same. So my area is actually just going to be 113.0. Okay, that's my answer. We took 3.14 for pi, took the radius, multiplied it times itself, and typed that in our calculator. Okay. Let's do the next one. All right, a circle has a radius of 4.5 centimeters. What's the area of the circle round to the nearest tenth? All right, same thing here, you guys. Nothing's changed. Area equals pi times radius squared. You're looking for the area. Pi is 3.14. Radius is 4.5, and that is multiplied times 4.5. Okay. So 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5. That gives me 63.585. Okay, notice we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So I'm focused on this digit. The one behind me tells me how to round, and that is larger than 4, so it is going to go up. So my answer becomes 63.6. That's my answer. Okay. Next one. All right, you guys, notice we got an extra step on this one. A circle has a diameter of 10 centimeters. What is the area of the circle? Round to the nearest tenth. Okay, well, if I write down my formula for area, it is dealing with the radius. I don't have a fancy second formula for the area that gives me it in terms of the diameter, okay? So I've got to do some work. Luckily, we know about diameter and we know about radiuses, okay? We know by now that the diameter is, that is not good handwriting. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're just going to use D to represent that. That is twice the radius, okay? So to figure out my radius from that, I can always divide the diameter by 2. Okay, I can half it. So my radius is actually going to be 5 because that is half of that 10. Okay, so now it's business as usual. Okay, we've got 3.14 for pi. My radius, notice that's 5, and I'm going to square that, meaning I'm going to multiply it by itself. So 2 times. So 3.14 times 5 times 5. And that gives me 78.5. And that one didn't have to round anything. It just came out nicely. Okay, that is your lesson for today. Remember, area equals pi times radius squared. Put that in your brain.